Now, Elon Musk has caused an earthquake by suggesting that at the next UK general election in 2029, the established parties, left and right, Labour and the Tories, will be, in his words, crushed at that next election. Now, what's he pointing to? Well, Elon Musk is pointing to the complete collapse of public support for Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who, of course, has only been in the job since July. But if you look at the polls, Keir Starmer's net ratings have collapsed to minus 38. So he is in what we call net negative territory, or what I like to call Prince Andrew territory.
When the world's most visionary entrepreneur, Elon Musk, chooses to step into the fray of British politics while reserving missile launches, it inevitably stirs a whirlwind of emotions among the populace. The founder of Tesla and SpaceX has plunged into the UK political landscape, igniting a genuine uproar that has compelled Labour leader Keir Starmer and his party to scramble for justifications for their actions. What drove Musk to take such a bold move, and why are millions rallying to support him, protesting against the Labour government? Today, we will explore these questions together.
But anyway, it's not just about Starmer. If you take a step back and look at everybody in Britain's political class, including Kemi Badenoch, the new leader of the Conservative Party, she's also in net negative territory. Her first opinion poll rating is -5, meaning more people disapprove of Kemi Badenoch than approve. So there's no doubt that everybody in Britain's political class is remarkably unpopular, and that creates a lot of space for those new insurgents and disruptors like Nigel Farage and Reform, for example. But actually, I think there's a lot more going on here than Elon Musk is suggesting. Let me just give you a couple of points to support this idea that the established parties, the liberal consensus in this country, is about to be crushed at the next general.
Intense discussions about Labour's governance are taking place in public forums, community meetings, and even workplace conversations. Elon Musk, whether by chance or design, has become the catalyst for a nationwide confrontation. Despite the swift expansion of this movement, the Labour Party's response has been nearly non-existent. Keir Starmer and his top ministers seem to avoid making direct comments regarding the petition or Musk's remarks, as if they are evading the truth. Their apparent strategy appears to be to ignore the escalating situation, hoping it will dissipate. However, such an approach only intensifies public discontent. Musk himself has not remained silent, directly criticizing the government's reluctance to engage in this crucial dialogue by tweeting "Democracy dies in silence." Leaders should come out to the people, not hide behind closed doors. Political analysts express concern over the Labour Party's inaction, suggesting that it only underscores the widening divide between the party and the public.
Election, one thing I would point to, which Elon Musk doesn't, is what we call volatility in UK politics. We've never had as many people switching their vote from one party to another party as we've had over the last 10 years. In fact, 60% of Brits have changed their vote. Some have gone Labour to Conservative, Conservative to Reform, Lib Dem to Labour, Labour to Green. And all of this is why you can go from a massive Conservative majority of 80 seats with Boris Johnson in 2019 to a massive Labour majority with Keir Starmer only 5 years later in 2024. And that's why I think you could just as easily go from a massive Labour majority in 2024 to a complete realignment in politics, a massive political earthquake again in 2029. Because without those tribal allegiances, my dad voted Labour and his dad voted Labour, without all of that kind of stuff, politics is so much more volatile, so much more fluid.
The movement that Musk has sparked addresses not only critical issues surrounding freedom of speech, but also the pressing need for economic justice. Currently, Britain is grappling with a cost of living crisis, rising inflation, and strikes in the public sector. Many people feel desperate, believing that the Labour government has failed to provide any genuine solutions. Consequently, the weight of these significant challenges has fallen heavily on ordinary citizens, leading to widespread anger and dissatisfaction. Musk's tweets do more than just highlight these issues, they elevate them to the forefront, often incorporating direct quotes from individuals who are weary of governmental inaction. One viral post stated, "How can we trust a government that is unable to provide affordable housing or fair wages?" These words encapsulate the growing anger and frustration within society. By amplifying such sentiments, Musk has become the voice for those who feel neglected and overlooked, which has further fueled demands for a general election.
Quick yes or no answer. Is Elon Musk right to call Keir Starmer two-tier Keir?
Look, I'm not going to get into nicknames about the Prime Minister.
But is he generally right?
No, I don't trade in nicknames about the PM or anybody else.
Right, but is that an accurate description of
I don't think that's
the
sensible.
policy?
I don't think that's a sensible thing for me to engage in. What I do think is that the Prime Minister is running scared on this debate and is not calling out in equal measure violence and disorder by those on the far right and those in sectarian.
As the owner of Company X, Musk found himself at the heart of the global political discourse. His daring decision to stand against the Labour government underscores his increasing concern about authoritarianism, particularly regarding freedom of speech and ineffective economic policies. Musk's involvement sparked a genuine emotional response. His tweet not only garnered thousands of signatures, but also became a significant catalyst for addressing the critical issues facing our nation. Citizens began to openly share their personal experiences with financial struggles, express their dissatisfaction with public services, and voice their profound disillusionment with the Labour government. Hashtags like General Election Now and People Deserve Better quickly gained traction worldwide, highlighting the immense scale of this movement.
A big thank you to you from the very, very start for watching us, for listening to us, whether it's live or on catch-up. And we're being noticed. Our influence is being noticed. I had Alison Pearson on the show last night talking about Plod, knocking on her door last Sunday morning for something she said on X a year ago. And Elon Musk picked this all up and he posted last night and saying that, what we'd done is the show had beaten Sky and the BBC ratings combined. And he's making the point, Elon, that basically people have had enough of old-style mainstream media. So a big thank you to Elon Musk as well.
This perception further erodes the credibility of Starmer's leadership, with many openly interpreting his silence as an acknowledgement of failure. One of Musk's most striking and pointed criticisms of Labour centres on the issue of freedom of speech, which he believes is diminishing. In recent months, there have been increasing reports of individuals facing harassment for their social media posts that criticize government policies. Musk firmly opposes what he describes as censorship disguised as regulation. In one particularly passionate tweet, he remarked, "When a government suppresses dissent, it ceases to fulfill its responsibilities to the people. Britain must do better." This sentiment resonates deeply with those who feel their voices are being stifled and overlooked. Musk's critique extends beyond isolated incidents. He highlights significant systemic issues, emphasizing that laws and regulations are increasingly being wielded as instruments to control public opinion.
What about our Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, that he must resign because he's sending England back to the Tudor times, and you've accused him of heading up a totally fascist government. Keir Starmer, a fascist, is that quite right, Mr. Musk?
Well, what is fascism? Fascism is a high school. So you go to a typical high school, and that's a fascistic setup. All authority is in the hands of the principal, and the second level of authority are the teachers. The pupils, they just sit up straight. If they open their mouths, in my country, they got caned. And that essentially, they have no say. That is essentially what a fascistic setup is about. Doesn't mean it's bad or anything, and it obviously works well in high schools. The trouble is that in the world at large, the kind of rules that Mr. Starmer has been putting down and laying down and putting people in prison for
Mr. Musk,
posting
we need
things
to leave it
is not
there,
right.
I'm afraid.
Musk's actions have resonated powerfully far beyond the UK. His bold critiques of the Labour government have sparked intense discussions in countries facing similar challenges, from the United States to Australia. Media outlets worldwide are eagerly covering this captivating story, portraying Musk as a disruptor willing to challenge established norms and reveal the failings of those in power. The international community's attention has become a significant test for the Labour government, compelling it to confront not only rising domestic discontent, but also severe international scrutiny and criticism. People are calling for change, and the pressure on the government intensifies daily.
They want Elon Musk gone, X turned off, and freedom of speech stamped out. Starmer himself has said he's going to look at social media laws in the wake of the riots and even revisit the Online Safety Act. And right on cue, of course, the Westminster elite are now circling. Guardian columnists got their knickers in a twist, saying Musk should be on trial in the UK for inciting the riots. And Keir Starmer's champagne socialist biographer, Tom Baldwin, called for regulation of social media platforms, even saying free speech was not absolute. Make no mistake, the minority racist idiots who caused the worst of these riots have opened the floodgates for a power grab of our civil liberties under this Labour government. And it's a crying shame that it's a US-based South African who's the only one with the balls to stick up for British.
Elon Musk's name has long been synonymous with revolutionary change and bold ideas. He began by creating remarkable Tesla electric vehicles and has since taken on the ambitious goal of colonizing Mars through SpaceX. Musk is not just pushing the limits of what is achievable, he is crafting a future that we never even dared to envision. However, his recent foray into politics has sparked a whirlwind of emotions and raised questions about his previous priorities. For many years, it appeared that Musk was uninterested in governmental matters, choosing instead to concentrate on technological advancement. Yet now, his engagement with UK politics reveals a deep dissatisfaction with the current system. He aims to empower people to voice their demands for change and improved governance. What are your thoughts on this video? Share your opinions in the comments and see you next time.